If you're thinking about buying property in the Las Vegas Valley to run as an Airbnb or short-term rental, this video might save you from some very expensive mistakes. So the rules in this market are not what most out-of-state investors expect, and getting this wrong can cost you thousands of dollars in fines, lost bookings, or a property that you can't legally rent at all. I'm Jacob Ballou, Las Vegas luxury real estate agent, and today I'm giving you the full breakdown on where short-term rentals are legal, what it costs to get licensed, and what's happening right now in the courts that every investor needs to watch. If you want to work with someone who actually knows this market, hit like, drop a question in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is the mistake I see California investors make constantly. They look at a map, they see Vegas, and assume there's one set of rules. There isn't. The Las Vegas Metro includes multiple distinct jurisdictions: the city of Las Vegas, the city of Henderson, North Las Vegas, and unincorporated Clark County. And each one has its own short-term rental regulations. So where your property sits on that map determines everything. Inside the city of Las Vegas, short-term rentals are allowed, but the property must be the owner's primary residence, and the owner must be present during each rental period. That's not a typo. You have to actually be there. The rules most investors play, they don't want to do that. So beyond that, you need a business license and a conditional use verification permit, and the annual fee runs $500. So on zoning, short-term rentals in the city of Las Vegas must be at least 1,000 feet from another licensed short-term rental, 2,500 feet from resort hotels and casinos. That distance requirement alone eliminates a significant number of properties. The city monitors listings on Airbnb and Vrbo, responds to noise and parking complaints, and verifies that every active listing has gone through the permit approval process. In 2024, one homeowner was hit with a $180,000 fine for operating an illegal short-term rental. So this is not theoretical enforcement. If you're a non-owner occupant investor looking at short-term rentals in the Valley, Henderson is the most workable option. Short-term vacation rentals are permitted in residential zones, as well as certain commercial and mixed-use zones, with a required separation of 1,000 feet between licensed units. The annual registration fee is $848 paid per property and must be renewed each year. So to register, you need proof of ownership, Nevada state business license, certificate of insurance with at least $500,000 in general liability coverage, a self-inspection checklist, and proof of completion of a city-approved STR certification course. Henderson also requires all short-term rentals to have a noise management plan, including noise monitoring equipment located both inside and outside the property. And each property owner is capped at a maximum of 5 registrations under a single Nevada state business license. The transient lodging tax in Henderson, it's 13% of total rental revenue for the month, due by the 15th of the following month. Henderson also restricts multifamily buildings, so no more than 25% of units in multifamily properties can operate as short-term rentals. So if you're looking at a condo, that cap matters. Now here's where it gets really complicated and really interesting for investors watching this space. Most of the residential neighborhoods you see in the Valley that aren't inside a city boundary fall under unincorporated Clark County. This includes parts of Summerlin, Henderson, zip codes that cross into county territory, and large swaths of the Southwest and North Valley. So under Nevada's Assembly Bill 363 that was passed in 2021, Clark County was required to repeal its long-standing ban on short-term rentals and adopt a licensing framework. They did adopt the rules, but then barely issued any licenses. The county has issued only about 174 licenses in a jurisdiction with roughly 300,000 homes, and the licensing portal has been closed since August 2023 without accepting new applications. Then the county started aggressively enforcing and fining homeowners who couldn't get licensed because the county wouldn't let them apply. Court records describe daily fines ranging from $1,000 to $10,000 and liens being placed on the properties, calling it a draconian enforcement regime. Homeowners fought back. In December 2025, a U.S. District Court judge ruled that Clark County's enforcement scheme likely violates the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause, finding the county cannot penalize homeowners for failing to obtain licenses when it has not provided a meaningful way for them to obtain them. So as a result of that ruling, Clark County currently cannot require a short-term rental license, issue or enforce daily fines, declare properties a public nuisance, or record liens against homeowners, at least while the litigation plays out. The Clark County Board of Commissioners voted unanimously in January 2026 to appeal that ruling, so this fight is far from over. So here's the bottom line. If you're buying a property in this valley specifically to run as a short-term rental, you need to know the jurisdiction before you make an offer, not after. Henderson gives you the clearest path forward as non-occupant investor. The city of Las Vegas has the owner occupancy requirement that makes most investor strategies unworkable. Unincorporated Clark County is in active litigation, and there's potential upside if the courts force a more open licensing system, but you're buying into regulatory uncertainty. And in every jurisdiction, check the HOA. Many master plan communities in this valley, like Ridges, McDonald Highlands, parts of Summerlin, and Southern Highlands, have CC&Rs that restrict or prohibit short-term rentals regardless of what the city allows. The HOA restrictions can override everything else. I work with buyers and investors throughout this valley every day. If you want to find a property that actually pencils out as a short-term rental, or if you're looking at luxury residential for long-term appreciation, reach out directly at jacobnballou.com. The link is in the description. Short-term rentals in Las Vegas are not dead, but they are not simple. So know the rules before you buy. I'm Jacob Ballou. I'll see you in the next one.